Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the party. Here we are back on ARMTV on a Tuesday night. We're coming off one of the hottest weekends in the history of arm wrestling. We had huge matches over in Dubai. Tonight, we're going to talk about the matches. We're going to talk about the fallout from all the matches and really review what was one of the most interesting to watch arm wrestling events in maybe of all time, for multiple different reasons. Tonight with me, as always, we have the one and only, the founder of ARMTV himself, Gary Roberts, back in the studio.
Booyah!
Oh, there he is, and also a frequenter of the Tuesday night show. We've got a absolute scalpel wielding surgeon at the arm wrestling table, and quite the fine fisherman as well, Mr. Jason Merlot.
Everybody doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Jason Merlot, you're moving up in the world. I saw you on Neil Pickup Show.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Neil asked me to go on.
What?
Fun.
I didn't get to watch it, so maybe I'll ask you later if hit on any points if they overlap with our conversations tonight. Because damn it, so much arm wrestling content.
Oh, so much.
Yes.
Big problem.
So much.
Uncle John.
Yes, sir.
Where are we starting off tonight?
Holy smokes. I think we should probably start off with just a brief recap of our thoughts. I mean, the event has now been talked about a lot, right? A lot of different stuff. So I think maybe we give a brief recap of that. Jason and I have had conversations with ourselves about the rules and how the rules were used and interpreted. I think that it all went fine, but for us, when we have a specific vision of, if you tell me the rules, I want those rules to be enforced, and then they're not, then maybe we talk about that briefly, and then maybe we'll go into the aftermath. Where does Devon go? Where does Michael go? Is Devon the greatest of all time? Is he the GOAT? Shh, don't answer anybody. That'll be later.
What? Don't answer that question yet.
And then maybe at the very end, we'll bring some people in and see what they thought and what they wanted to say about the matchup. So we've got some people already asking what the next best step for Devon is, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll touch on all this stuff tonight, guys.
Okay, before we get into that, can you make me a host so I could do a shameless plug? Yeah. So I could do a shameless plug.
I will make you the host.
I feel it's so small. What I'm after viewing what has happened, it's like, oh, let me talk about what I'm doing. I'm a little itty bitty live in space. But hey, we all have to start somewhere.
That's true.
Am I free? Am I free?
You're good. You're on. You're host.
Okay, so let me give just a shout out. I think it's almost.
Yeah.
This is all the belt graphics.
Cool.
I'm not 100. The right one's a little dark.
You're gonna give one of these away at every single event.
Every single one.
Awesome.
To one.
I'm getting one of those.
Yeah, so it'd be like, I don't know if you can tell from where your guys at, but this is all like Gladiator, Spartan, Game of Thrones inspired. On the left, you have our would-be champion. He's standing with his back to you, and everyone in the ruler of the nation is charging. It's like the world against him. And then the picture of the graphic to the next is we're finally going to battle. I'm making a couple of minute changes, but we're going to battle. Then if you skip the main one, because that's the final, but if you go to the next one, then it's like it ends in an arm wrestling match. Everyone's dead. There's a pile of bodies. Then we go back to the main one, which is, I haven't quite figured out. I feel bad because I want it to be the middle. I want it to be the far right, but whatever. People will figure it out. This is like the dragon is burning all the dead bodies. The champion standing there. The loser is missing an arm, and the ruler of the nation logo. And then the far right, it's a throwback to Conan the Barbarian, where I was kind of like a Game of Thrones, like the throne motif. Instead of knives, there's arms hanging on the throne, and the dragon has been like, you're so dominant in the world of arm wrestling that the dragon is now your bitch. Anyways, if you're the ruler of the nation, I'm giving away. And this is, I haven't held the belt yet, but this is the artwork for the belt. I'm putting in my order. Hopefully it'll be finished by June 19th. Cross your fingers. If you win June 19th, which somebody told me Pablo in Illinois is the man. Pablo, I don't know how to spell it or pronounce his last name, but you guys know Pablo is kind of a beast.
Yeah.
His kids, Dimitri, kicked my ass the last time we arm wrestled. Anyways, I'm told that Pablo is pretty much, I'll throw Chris Chandler under the bus. Chris Chandler says that Pablo is pretty much just give the belt to Pablo. And so I'm asking anyone out there who's willing to come make sure that my show isn't a guaranteed Pablo champion to make it interesting. Please come on out. We'd like it to be a little, not obvious who the champ is. So anyways, that's my plug.
June 12th?
June 19th.
19th.
June 19th. Help. If Pablo wins, so be it. But I want someone to at least make it interesting.
Sounds great. Hey, I also got to plug the 2021 Michigan State Harley Pole Championships on June 5th. Those are coming up. Big event.
Yes.
Very nice.
Jason Merlot, get on an airplane. Come on over here. Where do you live?
New Jersey.
How far is Jersey?
Not far from Illinois. It's definitely a quick plane ride.
Yeah, let's find out. What city?
Well, I would leave out of Newark Airport.
No, I just want to know the drive, just for fun, shits and giggles.
Oh, do Old Bridge.
Old Bridge.
Well, you guys are doing that. We got a super chat from Hermes Desperini. Says Gary continued his theme of being wrong about things by picking wonderful Michael Todd, the great 06 monster. Love you, Gare Bear.
Hey, you can be here in 12 and a half hours, Jason Merlot. 12 and a half. Come show some of these peeps over here in Illinois what's up with some of that New Jersey flavor.
Yeah, they don't want any of this.
Okay, can I
wait, we got another super chat and I need help with it. Daniel,
let me finish that super chat.
All right.
Okay. Here's the deal. In the very beginning, I felt bad because I love both of these guys and it's hard for me to pick a winner. How do you pick a guy? How do you pick friends to win over the other? Well, Devon was so popular. Uncle John jumped on the Devon train. It's like, I like the underdog story. If somebody's rooting for everyone over here, then I like to go this way. So I was trying to support Team Michael, but I did become a believer after I found out about the Devon Larratt diet. Fat Devon. I got questionable, but we'll get into that. But, that's how I picked my team. Okay, Ozzy, welcome. Read the super chat.
Yeah, Yurik. We got Jason, hashtag Bass Curls, John, Princess Bride. I've had multiple people tell me Princess Bride. Do I look like someone in Princess Bride now?
Yeah, the main character.
The main guy?
Is Aldo Montoya?
That's a compliment.
Oh, is that who they're talking
my
about?
My father. Yeah.
I would say that's a compliment. I'd have to
refresh.
I agree.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, if it's Andre, then it's not.
Then maybe
so
not. Then maybe not.
Hey, I have a question before we get into it. I've noticed that Devon is plugging the "I won the final round in no straps" hashtag no straps.
Yeah.
Is he saying that winning outside of the straps is more impressive?
Yes.
Against Michael Todd, it certainly is.
Yeah. There's a lot of whinging in the arm wrestling community about everyone always going to straps. There's a real scream for it. That's not proper arm wrestling.
Yeah, it's coming from Gary.
Gary Roberts. Listen, for any of you out there that are not Gary Roberts lovers, just know that I will continue to fan the flames of conversation on multiple topics in the sport of arm wrestling. Sometimes I'll win, Sometimes I'll lose, but I will continue.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Gary, I sent Uncle John the one chip challenge, so that's the one that you have to do.
oh,
John
you
has
guys,
it.
Yeah,
you guys-
I'll forward that to you, Gary.
okay. So that'll tell me what I have to buy. Do I have to Amazon it, or is it at the store somewhere?
Yeah, you can get it at Amazon, Walmart. You know,
Okay.
readily
For
available.
next Tuesday, I will buy whatever I need to buy, and then we'll meet you back here next Tuesday. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right, sounds good. All right, boys, we got to kick this thing off. Let's just start with like a little recap of, some of the notable moments of last Friday at the King of the Table. Let's start off with Mazahir Sedu versus Coach Ray. Now, this was
Chalkgate. Instead of Watergate, Chalkgate.
Chalkgate.
No chalk bucket, chalk pedestal, no
Yeah.
chalk.
Yeah, looks so professional. The whole setup was fantastic. And then, forgot one of the main ingredients to kick off an arm wrestling match.
I mean, it's such a shame. It's something so little, but it's such a shame just for everybody. Obviously, they were scrambling for it, and it took a while to get, which I was very surprised it took a while to get. But I mean, obviously, they're not going to make that mistake moving forward. But both Ray and Mazahir made the right decision in terms of moving forward, because they're not going to hold up the whole entire pay-per-view for that. It must have sucked, but they made the right decision moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Ray was good enough to go, and I think he got some liquid chalk at one point.
Yep.
And then they eventually did have a block in there. Oh, you got a Velcro there, Gary.
Hey, John, I distinctly remember you getting pretty salty with me on the watch party when I tried to talk about a strap for a second. Pretty salty. So I have to bring out Jody Williams has sent me a strap.
Oh, what a guy.
Speaking of the conversation piece, it is my mission to get the strap back into the Velcro back into arm wrestling.
Is it coming back? Is Velcro coming back?
I'm bringing all you bitches out there. I'm bringing Velcro back with a vengeance. Velcro the vengeance.
Team Velcro.
Listen, so dude, I remember nationals. I even think world. I remember Velcro being used at high level events. I don't know what all the hate has been gotten over this Velcro business.
I don't know about any hate towards Velcro straps, to be honest. I think people just haven't used them because they're not, like Bill Collins said, they're not readily available.
I mean,
like, I don't have any problem with the Velcro strap.
well, I'm producing Jody Williams. I'm sorry, but I'm taking this. I'm producing. I'm going to model this. I'm going to get Ruler of the Nation embroidered on of them. Dude, I'm going hard. And we have Bubs as a special guest for a few minutes.
And Gary, I love your idea about a new strap for every event. That, I think, is absolutely excellent.
I mean, for high level events, it seems like common sense. You know what I mean? These are not expensive to produce. I mean, anyway, so yeah, I'm into that as well. So I heard you guys talking about the chalk. So you let me tell you something. You guys rode me hard. Even the chat rode me hard that I dared bring up something like a baseboard to a table, like, oh, how can a high level production forget anything? And then you guys see that maybe there was miscommunication on the chalk. It is possible, right, for things to get missed.
Certainly. Well, I think it's a good representation of the fact that this was their first ever event and their first ever arm wrestling event. And I've gone to arm wrestling events before with people that have been running arm wrestling events for a very long time, and they don't have what's needed. I mean, there was a PAL event where, who was it? Michael Todd and Trubin or something, and they broke the strap and they didn't have another strap.
I think there's plenty of salt at PAL events now. I reckon there'd be plenty of salt there.
Yeah, well, it won't be a lack of that.
So in my understanding, the watch party was hard to pay 100% attention. Did Ray go find his own form of chalk? Is that what happened?
Yeah,
Yes.
he brought some liquid chalk, which I think is also excellent too as a competitor, having that. Like,
Mhm.
I'm always gonna, because of that, I'm always gonna bring my own chalk now.
100%.
Seriously, because that was such a high level athlete move right there, having your own chalk.
Yeah,
It really was.
100%.
Is it too soon? I was monitoring the chat in the community, and I heard some people say that the first match was a scandal and clearly a bias towards Ray. Is that
The first
correct?
match of their super match, or
Yeah.
just the whole?
The first super match, like bias didn't want the other guy to win.
Oh, well, Coach Ray was very much in the lead as far as the popular vote goes.
Are you saying the match was fixed?
I just read some chatter saying, "Oh, they want Ray to win," is what's going on.
I think I read something also what you're mentioning on Gary is that they were also saying that they think the setup was starting on Ray's side of the table instead of center. I mean, it's slightly off. I think it's a little bit of a stretch saying any of that they were trying to make Ray win there, because that I don't believe was the case.
Look, if you're in that high level of an arm wrestling match, guess whose job? If I'm in that match, guess whose job it is to make sure that my hand is in the center?
Exactly.
It's my freaking job.
Exactly.
Don't rely
Preach,
on the
Uncle
referee.
John. Preach.
Yes, I completely
Never rely on the referee.
And I don't think Bill Collins is going to compromise himself as, you know, quote unquote, the number one ref in the world in order for Coach Ray to get the advantage. I mean, he was down 3-0 and Coach Ray was just a smarter arm wrestler and just knew how to adapt. Mazahir was gassed.
Yeah.
So my point is, these were honest technical mistake issues with the scoring and not a shenanigan situation.
No,
the people scoring, I don't think doing the scoreboard, I don't think they were arm wrestling people per se. I think they worked for core sports. So when they saw, because straight away you saw a pin, you know, Bill Collins' arms went up, but then the bottom ref went, hang on, running foul. And they were quick to get on the scoreboard and go, oh, Bill Collins has pointed to Ray or pointed to Mazahir. So I think, it was just communication instead of just waiting that couple of seconds for the official while they swap sides or set up. I think they just jumped on and quickly updated the scoreboard and then just went, oh shit, running fouls. What's this jazz?
Right.
I think it's such a crazy thing to say that they favored Ray. One, it was clear that Ray needed chalk to get what he needed in this whole match. Two, Ray needed and wanted a riser, and he didn't get that either. So if you're going to say that the match was slighted and in Ray's favor, that's completely not true, because he did not have these key components that if he would have had, probably would have been better off right from the get-go.
Yeah, I don't think there was shenanigans. I just think it's if the internet's thinking some crazy conspiracy theory, you might as well debunk it than ignore it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's plenty of conspiracies going around, especially in the last match, which we'll get into a bit later.
Can I ask a question? Uncle John, we had spoke on the phone a little bit of preamble about how we were going to hit this. When do we talk about, do we recap the entire thing, or do we talk about the whole issue that we mentioned with the footage?
Let's talk about each match a little bit first. We'll get some super chats, and then we'll talk about the some of the dramatics surrounding this event. Maybe
so the aftermath of the show and after. Okay,
because we got a couple super chats here. Joe Valentine, $5. Thank you very much, Joe. Says, hey boys, let's pass the hat around so Igor can pay to get his yeast infection checked out, and then we can have a god dang match. I think we'll be talking about that in a minute.
So then can we just
No.
Hold on. We just tease a little bit. We had a watch party that was very successful, wasn't that? It was like,
man, thousands of people.
It was awesome. It was a record. I think it was triple the record of what we had done before.
Yeah.
And I'm not like you where I have this record like Devon Larratt's on my show and I have this amazing, like, I don't think I ever had really an amazing day. So that to triple what we'd done, that was just beyond my wildest expectations. So, but I just want to tease it because we thought there was nothing wrong with doing a watch party. We were promoting the pay-per-view, promoting the event, directing people, telling people to sign up, 100% pro, trying to support these organizers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a positive, right? We didn't do
watch
anything.
parties are great.
We didn't do anything wrong there, correct?
Not that I'm aware. I'm sure maybe somebody thinks so, but by the books, we showed zero content.
Yeah. Okay, so because later on we're going to talk about what happened afterwards. I want to make sure we're not being hypocrites because we did a watch party and
I see there's a significant difference in what we did versus what other things had. Zane St. Andre Jackson, $5 super chat says, do you think Todd Hutchings could have opened up this version of Devon like he did in WAL 2 years ago? No.
Yeah, I love Todd Hutchings, but I'm going to have to say no as well.
Yeah.
My wife will be watching Bubs. I just wanted to bring him in for like 5 minutes, and I guess it's been that. I'll bring him back.
All right.
Bye,
We'll go.
Bubs.
Say hi, Bubby. That's a Bubby. Okay, I'll be back. I just
All
wanted
right.
you guys to see my Bubs. He's getting
Very
older.
nice. He is getting older. Very good.
He said daddy the other day.
Oh, good work.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, Hermes Desperini, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Hermes. By the way, 221 people in the chat right now. Thank you guys for joining us. We got 69 likes. No, now it's 70. The joke is over. All right, everybody, give it a few likes over there. Get this going in the YouTube universe. Hermes Desperini says, what do you guys think about a 2 versus 2 format? Like best of 10, and the winner of each round picks the next opponent, and they can switch off with their teammate whenever they choose for entertainment. Well, it's certainly something that I haven't seen done before.
Right.
Tag team arm wrestling.
Yeah.
That would be.
Can you switch out when there's a foul? If their match gets restarted, can you switch out?
Tag them in.
Yeah.
Hey. I mean, I'm doing so at my event, June 19th, not to find a way to plug myself, but in my waiver is going to have a no collusion clause, like, because I'm making a TV show, right? It's for YouTube, but I'm making a TV show. And if it's found out that like every first place of every 8 divisions will get in, but if you violate the clause, like clear collusion or do something, I reserve the right to remove you from the event, and your runner-up gets to replace you as is in the show. What do you think? Crazy?
I mean, you're going to have to enforce it. That might be the difficult part.
Yeah.
I like it.
It'll get views. If you're
100%.
colluding, X-nay out. Okay.
Hey, Monster Michael Todd is in the chat. Monster Michael Todd, thanks for being here, brother.
Yeah, I spoke to the Mons. I got a quick little story. I spoke to Michael for just a minute. Thank you for being here. I mean, Michael's a hero, dude. I love how he's responded to this. I'm so proud of him.
Look, I just want to say, Michael, thank you for what you gave us.
Yeah.
Because it was fantastically entertaining. And I think the way it was handled, I think you probably gained just as many, if not more, fans. The way it ended up, which was not obviously your preferred way, but man, you went up notches huge in my book.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about it all, 0 excuses from Michael Todd. 0. Unbelievable. A big match, wanted that big purse, big reward. And he's laid up and everything. He said he was going to beat Devon. I love all that confidence and all that talk. And then when he didn't win, unbelievable the way he handled himself. 0 excuses. That's a proper champion.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys? You all watched the live stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then now you've had 3 or 4 days to collect everything. As we're going through these, has there any thoughts or opinions that have changed by hearing someone else's thoughts on something, or by you watching it over and over? Like, so let's say we get to Larry Wheels. Did you change your thoughts on anything?
No, that match confirmed everything I thought and said before the match. I have nothing to change about that.
Yeah.
Exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Jason?
I think it just, for me, I'm just so keen to see Schoolboy pull an arm wrestler. No offense to Larry Wheels, but I want to see him pull an elite arm wrestler and see where we can slot him, you know, in the discussion list.
I thought Larry was actually going to get a pin. I was very surprised he didn't. You know, there are some signs and evidence that he has some of a little bit of a sticking point, but I mean, Schoolboy got stronger inside. That's absolutely definite from his performance there, which was superb. It was absolutely superb. So he surprised me with how much stronger he got inside. So yeah. So I mean, I initially thought that Larry would have gotten a pin or two, but I was completely wrong.
Look, Larry is obviously fantastically strong, right? But Schoolboy totally eliminated his ability to utilize any of it. It was gone from square one. I want to see Larry get a lot more confident in that early part of the match before the match begins. I want him to be bullying Schoolboy around, right? Take a warning, take a foul even, push him around and let him know you're there. Do not let him dominate you like that before the match starts, because the matches were done before they ever started. And a big part of that is just experience over time. And I hope that he gets it.
Larry showed a little bit of lack of experience, especially if, I mean, hopefully somebody's pointing it out to him, but I mean, just how Schoolboy sets up in his hand. And I mean, you could just see like Larry's fingers just getting through Schoolboy's hand. And I mean, it's clear that you're not going to have the right setup with that. So hopefully he sees something like that. And, you know, he should have been setting up a lot higher. And I mean, an experience, that's all it is. I mean, hopefully he goes after tournaments like he says he wants to after this, because he definitely needs a lot of ready goes with different people.
But let me be clear. Thank God for Larry Wheels.
Absolutely.
I was watching Herman Stevens' recap, and he said something interesting. He said, basically, I can paraphrase if I get this wrong. I'm sorry, Herman. But he basically said, anybody who thought Larry Wheels could win is dumb. We were fooling ourselves to think that a bodybuilder could progress this much and this fast in the sport of arm wrestling. Like, shame on us for even thinking it. And anyone who wanted Larry Wheels to win, we were all selfish, because the only reason we wanted Larry to win was so he would continue plugging the sport of arm wrestling. Yes. And called us selfish, which it's like, is it a bad selfish or is it an okay selfish? I mean, it's okay, right? I mean, no disrespect. Larry seems like an awesome dude, but he's not mad if I say I'd like him to win so he continues to love arm wrestling. Is that?
No.
It's not bad, right?
Nobody was ever like, oh, I want Larry to win, but certainly not so he sticks with arm wrestling, right? It was like, I want Larry to win so he sticks with arm wrestling. Like, that's the point, right?
He just kind of made it sound selfish, like, oh, we're all selfish people.
Fine, I guess.
The future of arm wrestling is looking fantastic, regardless of the Larry Wheels result. I think he was confident he was going to win, but yeah, I think he'll stay in the sport for at least another 12 to 24 months.
Of course.
All right, so can we talk about that match?
Go ahead.
Okay. I thought maybe Schoolboy, due to all his success, I think there's an ongoing theme here that you can go across Schoolboy, Devon, Michael. And so I'll give a hint. I spoke to Devon Larratt when he came to Chicago. I picked him up, gave him a ride to this big practice. And we had this discussion about like, hey man, I was like, hey, you've made it. Like, in my mind, they've already made it. Like, any more success is like, I can't even imagine. And I'm like, you can just chill. You don't need to train hard. You don't need to beat anybody. You can just keep going to practices, making YouTube content and roll. And he's like, nah, you got to have credibility. You got to beat some people still. And I was like, well, once you've reached the level you've reached, really? Do you really need to be still the man? I mean, aren't you already just the man of celebrity status? So it was like this very interesting conversation for these people who are very successful. Do they need to stay on top? And anyways, I thought there was a chance that Schoolboy, because he's already so successful, would come in maybe overconfident, not as focused on training, and open a door for Larry. And I was surprised to see that not only he opened the door for Larry and said, go ahead and pull as hard as you want, and you can't get through the door, basically. And I was like, wow. So I was wrong on that. I thought maybe there was a chance.
Flash pinned him as well. Flash pinned him. That's like me turning up to your house and wearing my shoes on your couch. Larry was the host. You don't flash pin the host. At least make him look like a half decent arm wrestler. The way Schoolboy handled him was just, yeah. Oh, geez, it was good for discussion.
Jason?
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? I mean,
did any of you guys think there's a chance that he'd come in, soft?
No, not at all. Because Schoolboy's young. He's going to take this seriously. He knows that there's a lot of attention on him, and he has so much more potential because of his age. So there's no way he's not going to take it seriously to show that he's the real deal.
Well, I think an interesting stat would be to see when it came to the predictions of Larry versus Schoolboy, how many arm wrestlers with 4 or more years experience said Schoolboy easy, and how many people were just Larry Wheels fans and fans of the sport that picked Larry Wheels? Because I think, Uncle John, you've been pulling for 10 years. Gary, you've been around forever. Jason, you're climbing up the ranks, and when strongmen and bodybuilders come in, yes, that they may be stronger, but a millimeter rising your hand or a millimeter coming in, you've held them. So that'd be an interesting stat to see.
Got it.
Oh,
so
of course you have. I'll just shut my mouth then, Uncle John.
This comes from about 14 different YouTubers, right? So I watched all the different predictions. And so there was a ton of predictions, but I only took predictions from people that I would consider listening to when it comes to a prediction, right? So that would be someone who's been in the sport for a while. I don't know what the average number of years was or anything, but somebody decent. So about 14 responses, and 66 for Schoolboy, 34% for Larry Wheel. So 66 to 34 was the ratio of choice.
I did say on the watch party, I said that Larry Wheels losing could actually do more for the sport of arm wrestling. People like Michael Todd, a comeback story, how fired up does one get? Larry Wheels, I feel like maybe he's going to just do a little bit more, a little bit harder, and a little bit longer than had he won.
You could say the same for Michael Todd as well, because now all the discussions will be coming in. Oh, well, he's not as strong and he should go against this guy. So instead of it being Michael Todd and Levin, it's now Michael Todd against a lot of people. And I'd hate to be the person that's next up against Michael Todd. But now the discussions, is the rematch with Jerry Cataract? Is it Gennady? Is it things like that? There is more money-making matches now, I believe, for Michael Todd, with Devon in the form and the size and the strength and the power that he is. For me, it's Levin or nothing. I don't really want to see Devon pull anyone else but Levin. So I think, with Michael not winning, I think this gets him some more money-making matches, some more big matches to get that Levin and Devon match, in my opinion.
Let me hit a couple super chats here quick so we don't get too far behind. The Devil Man, whose name I don't understand how YouTube lets him have, but the Devil Guy. Gary, if you could invite all the top 3 or top 2 arm wrestlers from every state and make that a tournament, that would be so hype.
Here's the deal. Here's my pledge to you guys. everyone seems to think that arm wrestling is just on the brink of just cool shit. And I'm really excited about that because I love arm wrestling. I love my craft. I love what I do. I think I can bring something cool visually to the sport, storytelling wise. So as my channel grows, I'm going to try to do cool stuff. Now that obviously that's a pretty grand plan you got there. And I would love to do something like that. But like I'm already talking about with you guys, I'm starting small. I got a belt I'm giving away. We'll start there and we'll continue moving forward. But I'm excited to do, I mean, dude, it feels like very exciting stuff happening, man. So
I agree. It's all moving forward. By the way, go subscribe to everybody that's here. Of course, to ARMTV is the channel you're on. I'm Uncle John from Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. Aussie Arm Wrestler has a YouTube page, as does Jason Merlot. So check them all out. Ermies Desperini with another $4.99 super chat says 2v2 Monster Michael, Todd, and Devon versus Levin and Vitali. They find weaknesses and decide who goes when. North America would win easily, in my opinion. You guys know it would be awesome. I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it and see what happens.
So in that kind of feeling, my walking away from that event, I felt bad that I have this. It's Travis and I the only people that are in love with more than one people arm wrestling each other? Like,
I think most new arm wrestling fans and new arm wrestlers, everything has been about the super matches over the last 3 or 4 years, right? So we haven't seen the huge high profile tournaments except for like Zloty and stuff like that.
I don't know. I can't help but reiterate that I will go down the other path. I like multiple guys. I mean, like here it's 2 versus 2, but I'm just not. Don't get me wrong. I love the event. I loved talking about these 2 guys coming on. I also love the other stuff, and I feel like I'm at a buffet that's all super matches, and nobody's serving my favorite Chinese food. You know, my favorite dish, tournaments.
Yeah, I hear you. Evan Keller, 279 super chat. He says, Uncle John, Ontario now holds maybe the #1 spot in the world. All I can say, Evan, is I do really like Devon Larratt, but man, does Ontario suck.
Do you guys have anything to say about the individual matches of Larry Schoolboy? Any?
I
think it just went the way I thought it was going to go. Just bang all over Schoolboy. Because I think Schoolboy was getting annoyed that there was actual talk that Larry might beat him. So I think Schoolboy just wanted to let his fans know that he can still go and that he is 6'5" and a massive frame.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
100%. Canadian Chihuahua says, would be awesome if we can invite Michael, Rebecca, and Cobra into the Zoom chat. Thanks. Yeah, the link is in the description.
I would like to. Michael and Rebecca are driving a long way, so I think we got. Right. I think we got time. I'd like to cover the stuff before we bring in the big dogs. Yep, if it happens.
Finally, we got Mike Coburg, $4.99. This conversation is really helping me get through traffic. Mega Mike.
Are we on to the main?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I got to say something. Devon Larratt, like, again, back to that conversation. To me, I thought the man made it. I'm like, you're already there, bro. You know, why do you need to do any more? I guess that's the lazy part of me. I'm like, was totally shocked this entire time. I thought he was more like, they're like, yeah, I'm chilling. I get to travel, do my YouTube. Kids are growing up. Me and the wife are just chilling. I thought he was taking this match. I really didn't know he was going to show up as the God tier Devon, next generation, never seen before Devon Larratt. Like, I didn't know that was possible. I thought we'd already seen peak Devon.
Well, it's another interesting piece of data for the length and longevity that you can be a superhero in this sport if you have what it takes, if you have the time in, if you have the genetics, if you have the willingness to go above and beyond. You can do it.
I mean, does that mean like, how many more years can we see this? Like, I mean, what was this a one-off?
No, I think he can go for a long time. I don't know how he'll go for his health being so big, but I think it depends on the personality. Like every time someone climbs to the top, we compare him. Could they beat John Brzenk in his prime? I think Devon's at a stage now where he just wants to beat everybody. He just wants to always be known as the man. Who's the next top dog? No worries. Bring him through. I'll pin him. So I don't think he's ready to just chill out. I think he'll arm wrestle in his Zimmer frame. He'll have a table set up on his Zimmer frame when he's like 85.
I think the big question is does WAL try to get Devon back? Because Devon has hinted
before. God, you guys are not. WAL is dead. What are you talking?
No. Don't you say that.
The WAL contract system might be dead.
Right.
If
the redefine contracts, what happens now? What happens? Because Devon has a lot of power with that. He has a lot of power in the position that he's in right now.
Dude, if the WAL is alive, we have witnessed the greatest cuckold in history of all histories. Dude, there's no if, ands, or buts. It is bananas if they are alive, because you could have had that. I mean,
well, could have they though?
Not in the US, I would have thought. You know, all the sponsorship and the TV time, I don't think they'd be really wanting to promote. Like if
listen, I do not believe all this. We're hiding behind COVID for liability. Dude, come on. Trillion multi-billion dollar corporations are going back to work. You know what I mean? Disneyland is open, for crying out loud. I do not believe that Steve Kaplan is not hosting super matches for COVID fears. I just don't buy it.
Well, I don't think it's because of COVID fears. I think there's probably things they would have to put into place that would make the event more expensive to put on. And then it would be the bottom line, right?
Yeah, but I don't know, John. I mean, a lot of stuff is opening up in the US here now.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general. Like, I'm in a state where masks are gone. Like, that's starting to happen. So I don't know what that means in terms of everything else being possible. I would think things are possible now.
But don't forget, this match was made in what, February?
Correct. That's 100% right.
It's not like we can just say, oh, you should have known what the world was going to be like, 5 months ahead of time or 4 months ahead of time.
Yeah, we've just gone into a snap lockdown, and it's about to be announced that it's going to be extended. Now, I was supposed to go interstate and host tournaments. So, yeah, you don't know.
Okay, I will say this. I'll put you all to sleep, bitches. Chokehold you out right now. You think Igor looked pathetic announcing, like, all this hype, and then all of a sudden, like, he's a day late and $1 short on promoting the top 8. Like, he should have been hitting it hard. And everyone is like, oh my God. When they start coming out and promoting wall matches, and after dead radio silence for months, they're going to look, I'm sorry, it's going to look sad. I'm sorry. After what Larry Wheels and they've done over there, and proof of what you can do with just some YouTube channel business,
I bet you another hot chip challenge that when WAL comes back, it is on fire.
I have to completely disagree with what Gary's saying and completely be on your side there, John. Arm wrestling has all the momentum, Gary. Once WAL comes back, everybody is going to be fucking pumped.
And why didn't you do anything during this time off?
I can't.
It makes no sense.
I can't answer that question.
Because they have a lot more competitors. Could WAL afford to bring everyone over, have them quarantined for 2 weeks, and then send them back and they have to quarantine for 2 weeks after their super match. I think a lot of their international pullers that they want. I mean, if you look at the 600 series, there was a Canadian versus an Australian, a Swedish woman versus, I think, a Russian woman. So they not only have to get them over and pay them for the match, but it's the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after. Where in Dubai, you just go over. There was no, I believe there was no quarantine and things like that, which made it easier for Larry to get people over.
Okay, how about this? I've been hitting ARMTV hard over 12 months now. Over 12 months. Are you telling me that I could just turn off my channel, turn off my cell phone? 7 months from now, I'm completely AWOL. I do not update ARMTV. And then I come out and I announce some super matches. You're going to be like, oh, Gary.
I mean, if they're the best super matches
you're
in
not
North America,
gonna.
yeah.
But you've done it before.
Dude, I did. I freaking cried. I freaking cried multiple times while I was doing it. Like, dude, are you telling you arm wrestlers are so desperate that they will take abuse from their spouses? You are so used to being kicked around and treated like the dirt on people's shoes that you don't demand a modicum of respect. If the wall is still alive, they done messed up with the way they've handled their social media for the last 7 months with doing bupkis, speaking through third parties, rumors, holding on to your athletes like some sort of thread of hope.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, from Gary Roberts' mouth. WAL still dead. Secondarily, you also heard it here first. Uncle John available for booking WAL at any point in time. Just let me know.
Hey, dude, I don't need the WAL. I'm going to do just fine on my own. So if it kicks somebody in the butt to like, hey, don't treat these arm wrestlers like shit, it'll be even better for arm wrestlers if I have no affiliation with him and they come back and they keep doing weird stuff, taking advantage of arm wrestlers.
But Gary,
I'll hold the feet to the fire.
I'll play devil's advocate, but they've been allowing their competitors to pull outside of the WAL.
That's good. That's great.
I don't think there'll be any more contracts. I think you'll just be signed for the series, not the year. You know, it's like, Jason Merlot, we want to sign you for the 600 series. So can you just make sure in the 6 weeks we're running our event that you don't pull anywhere, you know, and plug us a bit. I think that'll be the new contract going forward.
I agree. I have a feeling that that's what's going to end up happening because I think everybody's going to start seeing that all the YouTubers are, well, I mean, all the big YouTubers really have a lot of power in dictating what they want. I feel like the pendulum has switched and it's no longer in the organizers' hands in terms of the power, and it's more in the athletes' hands. They can dictate what they want.
I can tell that I'm losing the chat. I'm not having fans here, but the connection has to be tied to the greatest of all time, the GOAT, and John Brzenk. Can we tie it or not?
Yeah, I think John's the greatest. I think he's the greatest of all time. I think
no, but one of the reasons John Brzenk is the greatest of all time is he traveled. He, as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, he got a job, or 19, whatever it was. He got a job with Delta so he could fly to all these tournaments. He went to all the tournaments. He supported arm wrestling, and he arm wrestled a million times. He went everywhere. It's very difficult. So if you tell me which model would I like someone to be the greatest of all time, a guy who supports every single arm wrestling event there is known to man, or somebody who's tied to a contract and arm wrestles a few times a year and they declare you're the best in the world, whereas the roster's limited. You know what I mean?
We're in completely different times though, Gary. Completely different. Like it's not comparing apples to apples.
If John was getting consistent money through one federation, he probably would have stayed there and not have to travel all over the world. But if John was making this his full-time his full-time job. So he had to go to, not had to go, but, go to all of these events. If you look at a lot of the results, he was pulling relatively the same guys. And then he was doing exhibition matches all over the world to make more money. If he had something secure in the United States, I think he would have, leaned over towards that and just negotiated in his contract. All right, I'll be with WAL, but let me pull 8 more tournaments a year, and he wouldn't have had to travel as much.
But I'm basically saying that under this current format of arm wrestling, no one can compete. No one could become the GOAT because no one did what John did. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Devon would have to do. I don't know what Devon would have to do to gain that GOAT title, but he doesn't have it yet. Correct? Beating Michael Todd doesn't make him the GOAT.
Correct. My perspective is that it will be nigh impossible to remove the GOAT title from John Brzenk for a lot of the reasons you just talked about, Gary. I do agree. It's really hard to compare at this point in time, but there's something about being a pioneer, right? I know there was great arm wrestlers before John, but John was so good for so long, like across 5 decades, right? Across 5 decades, he proved to be at the top of the arm wrestling world. And, it was different. I get that. But I think just the fact that he was the first to do it, he was so dominant for so long. And I like the argument that Bowen was making, actually, a difference between the GOAT and the BOAT. Devon on Friday, there's an argument to be made that he was the best of all time. Was he? I don't know, but I think there's an argument to be made.
That he at his best beats John at his best.
On Friday, nobody maybe ever beats Devon. Maybe.
Yeah. And I think what people have to take out when you speak about Devon is what he has done for the sport of arm wrestling. That adds to his aura, to his demeanor. Like he's pinned some fantastic people, but I think he needs to do more of that more often. When it comes to the greatest of all time, what he's done for the sport of arm wrestling and bring people in, absolutely. Devon's the greatest ambassador of all time for the sport of arm wrestling. But I think he just needs to go round, go pin the Europeans, and in this form that he's in, I don't think he can be beat. I do not think he can be beat. This pancake power is something special.
Yeah. We had a couple super chats. I missed one super chat. My chat went too far, but we also had one from Eric Racine. He said, I remember about 15 years ago, Devon telling me he thought he could stay near the top until 45 to 47 years of age. Now it looks like he can go longer. It does appear to be that way.
Yeah. Yep.
After recollecting the day's events and the watch party, I don't feel like I gave enough credit to how amazing Devon Larratt was that day. I mean, so I just want to reiterate, after reviewing it, I was floored. Devon, the day you came on our broadcast, I don't know if you're listening to this or someone's going to share this with you, but I went hard on you because I didn't know how to. I'm like, fuck, I need a sound. I need a catch, a hook, if you will, of how to hit this angle. And once he said he was eating like shit, the pancakes and everything, I went hard. Okay, that's his faults. That's where he's going to go wrong. And I really went hard on him because I was like, that's the only way he could lose is if he comes in a very unhealthy, maybe strong, but maybe endurance is soured. And I completely wrong on that. Congrats to you, Devon.
Well, here you go. Monster Michael Todd says it himself in the chat. He says, of course, Devon Friday night was the strongest person I've ever arm wrestled.
That means he's stronger than the version that Michael Todd pulled of Andre Pushkar when he came in and didn't use the press for forever, and then Pushkar ended up going through him and pressing him. That before this, that's what Michael Todd was saying was the strongest guy he's ever pulled. That version of Andre Pushkar. So that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
Huge call. Huge.
I use Pradeep. Pradeep sent me another video. He did another update on his thoughts on the recap. You guys are all familiar with Arm Wrestling News with a Z. Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I think you said it. Multiple people have said that this has been a big calculated extravaganza by Devon, this entire thing. And Pradeep said that in the last 3 months with Devon talking about, his eating and everything, that he didn't actually show any training videos. He kept it very close to the vests. And I'm like, I guess I am kind of stupid. Chat agrees. Gary's stupid. He doesn't notice this shit. And I'll give it to you. He had me, man. Is he that next level 5D chess that this entire way that he's approached this match has been one big, like, thought out maneuver, like thinking steps ahead of how to?
Well, I certainly think he has an idea, and I think he had a lot of help with the smoke screens from the Troll Army and just some of the other shenanigans that were going on, on the side, in the background, as distractors, because anything Devon said then got amplified to the absolute maximum. And I think he did figure out how to use that to his advantage.
Oh, he's very intelligent, very, very intelligent. And you've got to understand, he's been thinking about this since the WAL lost to Monster Michael Todd. Yeah, Devon may appear slow and things like that, but he is very intelligent, very calculated on how he approaches things.
Yeah, you know what? I really kind of, for views, I wanted them to be at each other, but I guess making Monster Michael Todd angry is probably the last thing you want to do. So, like, it seems brilliant. His game plan, get Michael comfortable, frenemies situation. And I don't know if Michael said this or somebody said it, but did Michael say something like he expected Devon to be a little chubbier? And he was like, oh shit, he's jacked.
There was some talk. I don't know if it was Michael, but multiple people noted. And I think I was in the same boat. Like, Devon in some pictures was clearly making himself appear much larger than he actually was. I mean, he was huge, but much fatter than he actually was, I think. Because, when he's in the pictures and he's doing this, like, he's, everything is pretty cut up. I mean, the midsection was much thicker. The head was much thicker. But overall,
what? I mean,
Gary, I think your internet's going down there, buddy.
But Devon took his mind games to a whole new level. We were expecting just trash talking. We were expecting him, to just give it this. But it's the photos and the pancakes and things like that. The way his mind games was on a different level this time.
Yeah. Hey, 330 people in the chat right now. Thank you guys all for being here. 135 likes. Please give us a little thumbs up, like or 70 if you could. Thank you all. And Gary, what do you got?
It's a good thing I had you run the show tonight, because my internet just spoofed out on me.
Well, we got an interesting question here. Sean Johnson, $5 super chat, says, is an arm wrestling bar a good business idea in 2021 in your guys' opinion?
No.
But no. I've been to an arm wrestling bar, and there is nothing cooler. Travis Bajan's father, arm wrestling. So listen, you go to a bar, they have license plate themes, license plates covering the wall or whatever. It doesn't matter to somebody who's not arm wrestling, whether they arm wrestle or not. When you walk into arm wrestling bar and it's completely trophies, pictures, tables, it's a complete conversation starter, dude. It's awesome. And I'm really beating myself up that I'm forgetting Travis's the name of his bar. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. Now,
yeah.
I mean, you got to have a nice rent. You can't be just going to put it in some expensive place, but it's really cool. And it's, arm wrestlers come in. It's like a little museum. You get some drinks. You know, other people come in too. You don't have to arm wrestle, but let me tell you, it visually can look really cool.
Visually looks great. Legally, I like my house like the way it is. Like, I don't want to be homeless on the street. So there is no way am I owning any type of arm wrestling bar. No way. Not in today's world. Everything is legal, lawsuit, everything. So no way.
Yeah. People hurting themselves when you're arm wrestling. You're not drinking. Your food's going to go cold if you sit there for a dinner. Imagine taking your wife. Oh yeah, I found this new bar. We should go have a drink and dinner, and everyone's there arm wrestling. Yeah, it just not a good idea.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you're not afraid of all the negatives, and if somebody did make an arm wrestling bar, I'm a guy who goes to bars 0%. No, really never, ever. I would definitely start going to a bar if there was an arm wrestling bar in my neighborhood, but I would never start one myself.
No, I want somebody else to take that risk. Gary, you take that risk. And
somebody reminded me it was called The Big Arm. The Big Arm.
The Big Arm.
In Charlestown, West Virginia. It was awesome. Let me tell you, it was awesome. Timmy Turner, Gary's emotional. Listen, hey, all you people don't like me out there, suck it. I own this channel. Suck it. Suck it. Suck it.
Well, along those lines, Dung Tai with a $5 super chat says, if Gary is going to support arm wrestling, he must remember that rising tides lift all ships and to remove his emotion on the podcast.
Dude, I've had emotion. Listen, let me tell you where my emotion began. 6th grade, okay? I'm having a bad day. I'm getting in an argument with the teacher, and I stand up in the middle of the class, and she's like, Gary, please sit down. And I said, F you. And she said, what? Go to the principal's office. And let me tell you, all the kids in that class, they looked at me like I had done something no one has ever done in all of childhood kind. I just told the teacher and from the entire classroom to F off. I've had emotion since I can remember. It didn't go away then when I got grounded and I got sent to the special class for 2 weeks, Mr. Matheny, and it's not going to go away now. This is me, bitches.
Good. Taking away Gary's emotion. He's like telling the Aussie arm wrestler to calm down. It's not happening. Energy, emotion, call it what you like. You stand your ground, Gary.
Oh, I have, since we have, dude, do you know I have something funny? Okay, I got a story for you. Short. Uncle John, you'll love it.
All right, I'm waiting for it. I better love it. I'm going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, no, this is a great story. When I was failing with ARMTV, I thought one of my greatest mistakes was that I did not partner with John Brzezinski. And while he was traveling around, he was like involved in helping promote ARMTV. And so I thought that was a missed opportunity. So when I was coming back into arm wrestling, when I started all that drama and I had given away 50% of ARMTV, part of the reason why I created drama, because I actually called Devon Larratt. I called Devon Larratt because I thought the key to my success was by getting involved with influencer. Like I missed the boat with John Brzezinski. And so I called Devon like the first week. I said, Devon Larratt, how would you like to have 50% of ARMTV? Was giving him half of ARMTV because I thought that was the answer to me growing ARMTV. And he laughed and he said, Gary, dude, I'm not gonna take your ARMTV, bro. We got this. We're going places. Don't worry. And he like totally assured he could have had half of all this, but he turned it down. What a nice guy is that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a sweet boy.
Yeah.
I was kind of desperate. I was like, I thought that was the answer. Anyways, a lot of good dudes in arm wrestling, but I'm so happy. It's so weird to be sitting here and see that like he's the king of the world, man. Like
amazing,
he's the man.
Good stuff.
Right.
We got Daniel Yurick, $5 super chat says, good turnout, men. Nice to see all the growth on all the channels. Indeed, big growth. Daniel York also with $5 super chat says 100 more likes till we see Jason's rod. I always like to see Jason's rod on a Tuesday night.
Big fella.
Can we talk about the match, Michael Todd, Devon Larratt?
Yeah.
So going back to Pradeep's video, he said a couple things that I was sort of like buying into until I watched Michael Todd's video. Not what I expected. So I'll say what Pradeep said, and then we can talk. Get your thoughts. He said Michael Todd didn't adapt his training. Not enough hands. He needs to do more cupping and more pronation, and poor grip manipulation. These are one of the few reasons why he lost out of the 5. Do you guys agree with that or disagree with that?
Well, he lost the setup. Michael explained it perfectly on how we lost. But basically, he just couldn't get into the position that he wanted. Needed more influence in the hand and just couldn't get it.
I think Michael gives up a lot with webbing height as well. You know, especially in this match, every single match, Devon had webbing height over Michael, and I think Michael kind of lets Devon get there. I understand Devon has a longer forearm, but I think he kind of just lets him get there for some reason.
So, I mean, is it that Michael just wasn't thinking about it, or you think he was so confident that he had it that he didn't need to worry about that?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't understand with the offensive Kings move that Michael Todd does. So I don't know if that's exactly what he's looking for or not, but I think it does affect the outcome in terms of, you know, if there's something to critique about it, that could be a starting point. But
as a guy who's promoting now, I'm going to have some tournaments. It really bugs me to hear people say you didn't win because you didn't cheat enough in the grip. I would like to believe that we can get a fair start, equal, and then someone wins. Not cheat, try to cheat higher. Like if you're trying to get higher webbing and the other guy is trying to get higher webbing, like what it bugs me.
Job. It's the referee's job to get your webbing straight.
So
a lot of people are saying the match was fixed. I cannot believe that. That is the most ridiculous thing. If anyone thinks that match between Devon and Monster Michael Todd was fixed and Michael just backed down for an easy payday, just go back and watch when Devon and Michael pulled in a garage for free. No chance that match was fixed.
I agree.
I do not believe that at all.
No, there's a lot of that going around.
Finish my other point. I find it respectful that they got a nice script. I was watching. I was like, oh, this is it was a very respectful sportsman-like grip. A little bit of jabber in the strap setup. But for the most part, you know, a couple early goes on Devon's part. But, I mean, I was very impressed that there wasn't more cheating.
Well, I think the rules were so well defined. I mean, they were defined in such a way that they both knew that if they did too much in the beginning, they did risk getting in the hole with fouls. So I think we saw a lot less leeway than we have, let's say, in WAL in the past, because WAL kind of thrives off of that jibber jabber before the match begins. And the rules were tight enough. Bill Collins wasn't going to have any of it. And so they were able to get to business right away, and it went fine.
Something Pradeep's final note, which I hadn't really thought of, is that he said Michael Todd was hitting the I'm going to do 6-0, 6-0, 6-0 every chance he get. He said he would have made a 20-minute video of that Michael Todd predicting how it would went. And that's kind of what hurt him, is that when it started to go the other way, it kind of like psychologically knocked him out a bit. And I thought that was a very interesting perspective. Do you guys think? Well, because he said where Devon kind of hid his game plan, Michael Todd said, here's my game plan publicly. And I was wondering if Michael Todd had hid his game plan, played a little bit more close to the vest, could it have been a different outcome?
Well, certainly. I mean, I think the psychological perspective of it leaves us, or really depends on the individual, right? Because there's plenty of data out there that says you should visualize yourself constantly winning and exactly how you're going to win and how you want to win. And then that will push you forward. Now, this really depends on the person. How do you respond to certain things? I mean, Pradeep really wanted to push this dopamine idea. I'm not at all sold that he knows the inner workings of dopamine and how that goes. But, you know, the basic principle of it, I can buy into a little bit. And maybe Michael just psychologically played it in a way that wasn't beneficial to him.
I find it interesting about because it's like, oh, if I predicted 6-0, when I lose my first match, I might think, oh, what the fuck? It seems like it could get in your mind a little bit. So I watch I watched Michael Todd's video. Now what? And I'll be honest, since that day I've been on vacation, and I call Michael Todd and Rebecca every once in a while. I love them. I'm cheering for them all the way. And I got to be honest, I've gone radio silent on the situation because I was scared. I sent a congrats text to Devon, but I didn't send anything to Michael because I was really nervous because I felt horrible for him. And I know how bad he wanted it. And that's when, like, I started off the show, like how mature he handled all of this, and like gave all the props to Super Devon. Like, and it's like I'm so happy for him to see that at least people on his video, they're all like, oh, they're taking us kind of by surprise by how you took this loss, and are loving it. And I just want to give a little bit more shout out to that because I'm
I'm not surprised by how Michael Todd took the loss. I don't know if I see him in a different light than other people. I've always seen him as a superstar and a champion, and emotions and adrenaline can take over. I think everyone's, you know, still thinking of the Michael Todd Jerry finish and has, you know, thrown a bit of dirt on Michael Todd. But when Devon won, I never pictured Michael taking that loss any other way. So when he came out and did it, I was like, you know, it was awesome that he came out that way. But I personally didn't see Michael taking it any way. I didn't picture Michael complaining or carrying on if Devon won. The way he responded was the way I thought he would respond, and he did.
Right, I agree.
I'm like, so I spoke to Michael Todd for a couple minutes. They just landed. They just got back shooting home. As you see, they're on the thing. And I just can't believe, I guess I'm lazy. I asked these, like, don't you want to relax? I mean, he's going to take some time off to do this RV thing. But it's like to see these guys still say, knock me down. Don't worry. I'll get back up and I'll get right back in there. I can't do that. I'm continually amazed how these elite guys can stay at this high level.
That's what you have to be. To be elite, you must have that. It must be inside of you, right? All that stuff that Michael Todd talks about, right, about how much he desires the win. I don't doubt any of that, you know, at all. In his mind, that's where he is, because he's nuts, just like we are, because we spend all this inordinate amount of time on arm wrestling. And, you know, it's the same thing. But if you want to get elite, you got to be nuts about it. And this is what that breeds is Michael will be right back into training. I guarantee you, he probably, as soon as he gets home, he's writing down his new stuff that he's going to do. He's probably already did it on the plane ride.
Right, exactly. And, you know, sometimes none of us can really speak in this capacity because none of us are the guys that are getting chased right now. So it's very hard to put yourself in that position, especially not experiencing that position. So, you know, maybe also, I mean, you know, Michael Todd could be taking this with a grain of salt, but also kind of happy because this loss might be pushing him. He's like, fuck, you know, I haven't taken a loss in a while. And now finally there is one. Now might be added motivation to get back on the high horse. You know, this might be a quick reminder that all top guys need sometimes, possibly. You know?
And there's no chance Michael Todd would finish on a 6-0 loss. No way.
That's not how he is. He's not.
That's right.
He's
That's
very,
right.
He pulls with the heart. Like he's almost like the Rocky figure with all the movies. Like, you know, he's very passionate with that, and that's how he squeaks out his wins, because he pulls with his heart. So there you go. He's not. Yeah, of course, he's never gonna.
Nah.
He's not gonna go out on a 0-6. Come on, that's.
No.
I mean,
we got a couple more super chats for a second here. Daniel Urich says how Michael was looking at Devon and smiling out of joy for his buddy during the match was something to write home about. Yeah, that was definitely. And on the other side of that, Josh Smith says Devon took his hand. That's it. End of story.
I mean, there's been a lot of speculation and blah, 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 blah. If you go watch Michael Todd's video, I mean, he just plainly describes exactly what happened. It's like, dude, I want to fight, but my man had me and it left me with no options. It's like, there's not a ton to speculate on there. Like, you know, I did my best. I was my best. I was at my peak, and the man came in better. It's like,
right. Mike tried his options. He even tried coming in with the press. You know, he tried his options, and he's like, you know, what else is there to do? I mean, he got beat, and you know, what else? You know, you have to accept defeat at some point. He realized that Devon had him crushed. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
That's right. I'm just gonna jump in, guys, because I'm gonna have to jump off right now. I'm gonna tag Daniel Urich back in. The one thing it's way off topic, nothing to do with arm wrestling, but I just want the whole arm wrestling world to know that this Friday morning Australian time, after a 16-month long battle, my wife has her last cancer treatment. And I just wanted to brag to every single person out there, because we're talking about champions, and my wife is an absolute champion. We're going to be so excited. I'm going to be doing a lot of crying. She's standing on the other side of the camera telling me off for bragging about it. Uncle John, you got to meet her briefly the other day when we were having a bit of a chat. But I just wanted to brag about it, guys. Thanks for giving me the time to brag about it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
And Ozzy, I didn't know you were dealing with that. Hearts, that's, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm glad you're seeing the end of it. Congratulations to your family.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've spoke about it very briefly on our social medias, but yeah, as the Aussie Arm Wrestler was starting, while I was doing all these podcasts, you know, we would spend the day at the hospital and things like that. I'd come home, shout out a couple of ready bangs, and then we'd go to bed. It was pretty good.
Nice.
But you take care, guys. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for jumping in. Support everyone that's on there. I love you all. And as always, ready, bang!
Yes.
Guys, I'm going to head out as well.
All right, Jason.
Jason.
Yes,
Jason. You got to chime in on this last topic.
Hurry up, God.
Hurry up.
I want to talk about the dark side of this whole thing.
It's the dark side.
Okay, all arm wrestlers want the same thing. They want to advance the sport of arm wrestling. They're so excited about Larry Wheels and all the things that are happening with all these channels. Yet some people in the sport of arm wrestling are blinded to what is right and wrong versus like sharing footage.
So what do you want me to say? I don't understand.
Uncle John,
you're talking about the fact that there was.
You promised me we talk about it later, and it bugs me. And now
I just want to be clear, because you're speaking in mystery, right? So
you knew what I told you what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
and,
but we need to make it very clear, right? So we're specifically talking about the fact that there was illegal broadcast of the event.
All the things.
So there was illegal broadcast of the event during the event and immediately after the event. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How? I can't believe you have to spell this out.
Well, you know, sometimes we do.
So Devon Larratt, Michael Todd, they arm wrestle each other. I didn't realize it was being broadcast during. So I was wondering is it unethical to do a broadcast party with just us talking about it? Like, I was that concerned. It's like, no, this is normal. We can do this. We just don't air the video. We don't air the audio, and we just talk. That's accepted.
Well, there is precedent for that, right? It's done often in pro wrestling. It's also done often in the world of MMA for like UFC fights. So there is precedent for doing that. And it seems to be something that helps out rather than hinders the sport.
Yeah. And I can confidently say, I know we helped their production make a few bucks. We told people, hey, go sign up. They came back to the chat. They said, I signed up. This was for all of us who paid for it to watch kosher, sweet, sweet business. Yet some people are trying to get it for free or not watch it or air it, or the minute it airs, they're creating channels and uploading the highlights. It's like, why is anyone doing this? I don't understand. Help me out.
Oof, this is a tough topic.
It really is. Look, I think at the end of the day, for me, it's the same as what we had said the night before. It's like, guys, please go and support the broadcast, because as an arm wrestler and as someone who wants to see, my main goal is to make arm wrestling big enough to support myself, you guys, everybody who wants it in the sport, right? And one of the ways we can do that is by supporting these guys who are putting money in now. And I think broadcasting it illegally obviously directly takes away from that. So no, I'm not for it, but I know I've heard the arguments. A lot of people are for it because they don't want to pay for the money, or they were at work, or whatever it is. I don't agree with it either way.
It makes me sad knowing that I, as a person I deal in content, I have still to post years and years of magical beauty stuff. And it makes me sad that as I continue to grow, that there's people out there that just don't see or care, and they just want to copy. They think because it's on YouTube that it's theirs to just grab and disperse to their liking. And it's just not true. It's just not true. And I wish the arm wrestling community could be different in regards to that.
Well, I don't think it's just the arm wrestling community, right? I think it's with most things. And I think there's some people in chat saying the same thing where, look, it is what it is. It's probably going to happen no matter what. I mean, unless you have a lot of money, like unless you're a WWE and you can say, YouTube, I want you to sick the box on anybody who tries to broadcast our stuff. Even WWE has live streams of the pay-per-view, illegal ones sometimes, and they get taken down as the event goes on. So it's going to be an ongoing problem. I would just continue to beat the drum of, please help the sport. Don't hurt the sport. Because that's literally what you're doing.
Here's the thing that even annoys me, even more than the guy who's posting it, is the 40 comments under it saying, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, are you serious? This is really, it's beyond, guys. It's beyond. I would like to do a shout out to Pradeep. When Pradeep still started his channel, he was doing exactly that. He was posting like stuff that's valuable and wasn't his. Mm-hmm. But his latest video, he's actually evolved in his craft. And if you watch it now, he's used segments of them walking out, and he's used stuff that generates interest for you to go find the original. Mm-hmm. He does it in a creative way that it makes his video 100% fine. It's very good, but it doesn't show the money shots. Shows a few seconds of the grip, and it's respectful. That is how it's done, and I'm so glad to see that he's evolved in that manner. But for the people out there who are creating a channel, a brand new YouTube channel, sadly with some troll names, I love the troll army. But a few of you, I don't know if they're bandwagoners, but you created a channel just to air the content and steal the thunder of the owners.
Rebecca Todd in the chat says Larry's team reported over 90 videos. All were taken down and strikes were handed out. And I know some of those were big guys too. Ryan Bowen took his, he released a reaction video like immediately after either the day of or day after, and he took his down.
I remember that.
And there's a weird gray area where, you know, you can take other content as long as you're transforming it and use it under fair use. But it's like that ethical idea of how long should you wait, right? For me, I would 100% at the very least wait until the owner of the footage released it in full on YouTube. Like that would be the minimum criteria for me.
Well, for what I see too is you got to give them that respect anyways, because they're the ones putting, especially Larry, you know, he's the one putting it on. Wait till Michael puts out his, wait till Devon puts out his, wait till Larry puts out his. And then if you're still going to steal it, at least let them get their channel growth out of it and then steal it from there. But I mean, there was people that are known arm wrestlers on Facebook live streaming it and being told by the community to take it down and said F you, basically. You know, I was like, that's pretty sickening. Sucks. It's $8. It's not a $100 freaking Mike Tyson fight. You know, the day of, I think it was $8. Come on. Yeah. Support the guys. It's $8.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope that maybe, you know, instead of this being an issue where we end up splitting the community into people who do and don't, but just like we can have an agreement moving forward, like that we're going to treat these events with these particular set of rules and respect as we move forward. And we just kind of all agree that, you know, we're going to put the event or the sport ahead of ourselves and of our need to like, look, if you can't watch it, I get it. I'm sorry for whatever reason. I'm sorry that's the way it is, but you're right. Like Larry is posting all the matches now, right? So now they are all up on Larry's channel. So you would have had to wait.
And everybody's already seen it.
So really, it's just a matter of controlling your impulses. If you really, truly can't afford to buy it.
At least the professional arm wrestlers and the guys who are like big name channels that follow arm wrestling and post content, at least out of them, you should see that 100%. You're still going to get your guys in the background and the chats and everything trying to figure out a way to stream it or something. But yeah, I don't think you can control that. But at least the professional athletes and the guys like yourself, like your channel did that. It's not a good look, you know. You got to be respectful. And some of that was going on.
No, I agree. And but at least the bright side of all this is Larry said he was going to continue doing this.
Hallelujah.
That was excellent. So hopefully that does continue.
Did you guys hear any numbers, pay-per-view numbers?
I haven't seen anything.
No, I hope that Larry and Adam do like a recap video or something of, hey, here's how, like, I have no idea if they'd be interested in doing that, but I would love to hear, because it's got to be good, right? They don't have to give me exact numbers, but how was it? Did it hit their expectations? Did it surpass their expectations?
Right. They were also booking on like day of that they were expecting a lot of pay-per-views to be bought day of. So hopefully that did pan out as well. And on that note, guys, I'll see you next week.
Take her easy, buddy.
Hi, Jason.
Take care, gents.
I think we might have lost Gary Roberts again. He's got a little frozen action going on, but yeah. So there is, of course, more after effect that we should probably talk about, which is where does Devon go from here? Where does Michael go from here? I guess we kind of touched on that a little bit. Of course, there's a lot of issues with Mr. Igor Mazarenko and the PAL. Rebecca Todd says over 24,000 pay-per-view buys before the cutoff. So 24,000. That is not bad at all. We got a super chat from Mark Meyer. Says, looking good, Uncle John. Thank you, brother. Feeling good too. Mm-hmm. What do you think about going for a Todd versus Levin match before he gets a shot at No Limits? I would still love to see Michael versus Levin in the future, but I think now you got to go with what's hot, and what's hot is Devon. Devon is going to be the key player at this point. And I think that he's the next big thing for Levin. And I think we've seen from Levin that he, of course, would like to pull. I think he'd like to pull both of them at some point. The question is how are we going to make it happen, right? Igor seems to be on a trolling extravaganza as of late, right? So he came on and he put on some antagonizing stuff about Devon. He reminded us all about the match with Devon and Dennis, and then he started promoting all of this stuff. Now, a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. Gary, you're just sideways.
Do you think they're gonna make Devon what's the requirements before Igor finally just lets his athletes pull everybody in the world? Is he gonna have to join the PAL and work his way through Vitaly and stuff to get to Levin? Like, what's he gonna make him do? Like, what is going on?
When I talked to Igor with Cobra, talked to Igor and Kirill, and their feeling was, look, we run a business. This is how our business works. We don't change our business to accommodate people who chose to be in other leagues. That's what Igor and Kirill were saying. Now, for me, I think that this match is bigger than that. I think that they should find a way to get Devon in there without Devon having to sign a huge contract and go through the top 8 tournament and then make his way to Levin. I think that's ridiculous. The heat is now. Right? If they could book this match for the end of the year or the beginning of next year, man, that's still going to draw. But if Devon has to wait through this season and then jump on board next season, we see it at the end of next year, it's a long time, right? The next year and a half of arm wrestling is going to be full of all sorts of craziness.
Okay. Hey, I lost you guys because my internet downstairs. Are we on Levin and Devon?
Yeah, so the question had come through of should Michael still pull Levin or what are we doing? And I honestly think we need to see Devon versus Levin. The question is, how are we going to get through all the Igor red tape and shenanigans, or is Igor really just playing us all and he wants this match to happen in the end?
Bro, here's the deal. I must be so slow. I cannot believe how fast it transitioned. Yeah, I agree with the chat. I can't believe we didn't even get through the weekend and there's pictures of Devon versus Levin and Igor like photoshopped in, like not on my watch. And it's like, oh my God, how can it not happen? First of all, it's of course got to happen. And I believe, whatever success Michael Todd and Devon match had, I mean, Levin and Devon, couldn't it just be even greater?
It certainly could be. It certainly could.
Oh my God. Worldwide hype.
Igor's gonna have to make something happen because no matter which one wins and who he faces, if he wants to go through Michael first and Michael wins or Levin wins, like whatever angle they put, how could he not do that just for the sake of blowing up arm wrestling? That's gonna be huge.
Okay, someone look at it that way. Igor looks at it as he wants to grow PAL specifically. And he knows that he can get some real good heat for PAL, some real good support for a certain amount of time if he brings that match in. But he also knows that he's done that before. And the day after, they're right on to something else, right? Just as quick as now we're on to Devon versus Levin. Yeah. And Larry and the PR promotions are in the past now. The same thing would happen to PAL. So their idea is to get the athletes and keep it over a long period of time. Is that going to work anymore? I don't think so.
Yeah. So you guys busted my balls on whether Wall is alive or dead. If it clearly comes back, it's a new world, man.
I would agree. They have to change it up.
PAL as well. Dude, we live in a different world, bro. The YouTube channels now have the same power that your organization has. Mm-hmm. It's not long until they have more. Like Larry Wheels versus Wall YouTube. Who's got more viewers? Schoolboy. Devon's going to be right there. Michael Todd's running. How does PAL and views, how do they rank up?
I would have guessed not as not as much. I mean, they might get a lot bigger block from the East and Eastern Europe, but I really don't know. It would be interesting to know what's the biggest buy rate there. Rebecca Todd said 24,000 pay-per-view buys before the cutoff.
What's that work out to?
I don't know.
Well, it's kind of hard to figure out because it started at $4.99 and towards leading up to the day it was $7.95 or something. So
24,000. If you use the $5.
So $6 on average because it went up to $8.
Okay.
So the 24 times 6 or 24,000 times 6.
144.
Yeah.
I mean, I know somebody was predicting 300 or 400. I think 144 is a respectable number. That's awesome. But I looked at that stage. That's expensive lighting up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had the whole rig. That's for sure.
And that the one the moving the jig,
Yeah.
they didn't use it very much. So I'm like, ooh, did you need that expense? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They should use that expense on the carpet. My eyes kept going to the damn carpet. It was busy.
We have a super chat from Desperation Pinocchio. He says 200 likes and Daniel Urich shows us his notched redwood. Also,
desperation.
The Swayze Express, he says the conspiracy theory. Michael lost because Devon and Levin is more catchy.
Yeah, I hear that. I've been hearing that a lot. Now, for one, how disrespectful.
Yeah, give me a break.
Why would he? For one, he would never do that to himself. Two, that's just ridiculous. I've been hearing that a lot. And Rebecca, I think, said earlier, why not make it a 3-4 situation instead of no way.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, if you were going to manipulate anything, you would make it close. You would.
None of these guys would do that anyways. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm actually getting pretty irritated hearing that. I hear that a lot, like 3 or 4 times a day. He threw it. I'm like, you're ridiculous.
If you watch the video, so Larry Wheels just released his cut. Go watch the original. Don't watch any of the stolen ones. And Michael Todd says the only way Devon Larratt beats me is if he's a touch stronger. And no one expected a heavier 30-pound. No one expected a 290 Devon Larratt. It's not crazy to see how the result happened, right? I mean, no one thought Devon Larratt would come in at 290. Am I correct?
No, I didn't see that
nobody
coming.
knew how big he was going to be. No.
In 2.5 months, I did not see him getting that big. No.
Yeah. So I call it like they all prepared. Devon was the man. I think it's a good outcome for arm wrestling. Yeah. Michael Todd will be back. It's like, fuck, dude, quit your bitching, bro. It's going to be awesome.
Ride the train. We got Roger Pedactor, $5 super chat, says it looked like Michael J. Fox was filming the event. No steady cam. Hello.
Oh man.
The
production, scorekeeping, there's minor hiccups there. Although
trial run, that was a good trial run. So.
For just food for thought for production value, that background, the images they were so beautiful. I did think it was a shame the table was so far away from it after the entrances. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to utilize that background in my shot and less of the random crowd goes, but yeah, that's just me. It was such a beautiful door opening. They could have put the table right back out. Anyways, I'm available for producer. Who we got? Cobra Rhodes.
Cobra Rose, but the Buck $5 super chat says the background was paid for by Thor's boxing match too. They were separate pay-per-view buys, right? I actually watched the Thor match for free, but I think I got it because I bought the King of the Table pay-per-view. But I did see the match. I didn't pay extra for it.
Speaking of Cobra, I saw Cobra's numbers on his page jumped quite significantly in the last couple of days. Congratulations, Mr. Rhodes.
Hello, Uncle John rocks.
Gary, how you doing, buddy?
What up, Daniel son?
We're just talking about the future of arm wrestling.
Yes, the future of arm wrestling. It's upon us.
So hey, Cobra Rhodes,
Hey,
you've been in the big game, spending money, promoting. I want your opinions. If someone just gave you a boatload of cash again, are you into super matches, or do you like the invite the best and see what happens?
Gary, the first show that we did with that boatload of money, we had over 300 arm wrestlers, gave away 80 grand US, and did not charge one entry fee.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We gave away even more money the second show. It was just a limited edition thing, a little specialty.
What was the format specifically? You had weight classes?
The first show, yes. First show we had weight classes, and then we went absolute. That's when Andre Pushkar, after the show, told me that was the greatest day in his career, the most he had ever won. That was his last competition, as a matter of fact.
Wow, that's amazing. I did your setup. It looked beautiful.
Champion. What a great! I wish Andre was here. What a great champion he was. Huh?
Indeed.
What made you go from weight classes to absolute?
The first show, and overall in Europe we say absolute. It was.
I know, but what made you change the format from the second show to the first one?
We wanted to speak. We weren't going to be cut in any mold. We set trends. We don't follow them, brother.
Yeah.
So we have the right to do whatever we want when we want. You know, if someone else has another 90 grand they want to hand out, they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? But we chose to have some fun with it, mix it up.
Is Core Sports here to stay? Will all their shows be in Dubai, or will they do something in the US? Anyone know?
No idea.
I don't know either. But Eric Racine with a $6.99 super chat says, if there were 24,000 pay-per-view buys for this match, imagine how many pay-per-view buys there would be for a Devon versus Levin match.
Yeah, I mean,
if
that's amazing.
Like,
listen, there's so many things you can do with something like this. If you have athletes that are unafraid of top competition, you could do this thing, run a tournament. I mean, if you don't want super match, you could run a tournament, right? And live stream it, whatever, down to the final 8 or whatever. You pick the number and then do your pay-per-view for when it's showtime. You know what I mean? But
I do like that. I don't know. I'm just married to I like the lot of guys thing. I do. I like that.
I like to see guys pull different hands and make different adjustments. You know, you think, oh man, this guy just was in a war. This guy just whacked 3 guys. The guy that whacked the guy, you think he's gonna beat him, but sometimes it doesn't work out when the man says goes. With a tournament, you get a lot of different possibilities. The variables are mega. So in a super match, if as you saw with Devon there, he was just so good. The match was over early. You know, there was nothing to guess about, nothing to make you really bite into that popcorn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But tournament, anything can happen. Anything can happen there. You know, of course, super matches, a guy can have a hell of a comeback like Coach Ray did. I still think that's one of the most wild things I've ever seen in my life. Coach Ray. That was the match of the tournament, I think, of the show Friday. He gave away, 60 pounds? Something like that?
35, 40.
Might as well be 60.
Yeah. 4 inches of height for sure.
Yeah, he didn't have a riser or chalk.
No, that's on him. That's on him.
Yeah, that's true. So we still got 267 people in the chat. We are booming. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for supporting the channel.
Everybody on this Zoom call right now has a YouTube channel. Daniel Urich has a YouTube. I have a YouTube. Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. Gary Roberts, of course, is ARMTV. And Cobra Rhodes. Head on over to Cobra Rhodes' YouTube channel because he's the man. He's got all sorts of good stuff going on over there. Give him a like and subscribe.
And we are going to have next week, Uncle John, you guys subscribe to Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show because next week we're going to do a combined interview Uncle, I don't know if we're going to air it next week or not, but Uncle John and I are going to have Chicago's own Steve Kaplan on our show. So you guys
What?
tune in and check
Are you
that
guys
out.
are you guys announcing that Wall is dead?
I did, Gary, quiet time. As I was saying, we're going to have Steve Kaplan on. We're going to talk to him a little. Oh, this Gary's channel. Sorry, guys. But we're going to have Kaplan on, Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show and Cobra Road's page. And you guys will be able to shoot some questions to us. Actually, you have access to Uncle John. Anything you want to ask Steve Kaplan, don't do it on this chat. Go holler at Uncle John. You can send it to his message.
Just for everyone, going hard on Wall, it's 100% intended. I am hoping it, if they're not dead, God love you. Come back and do something amazing. But I will forever be on board that you've wasted months. You could have done so much cool shit.
We've all wasted months.
Yeah. I would like to point out that Devon Larratt, he could do exactly what Larry's doing. He could be promoting things, events like the bottom 8. He could do that, right? I mean, it's not just Larry Wheels that could do something big now. If Devon's on top, he was already up, but now if he's like riding another wave, I mean, he could do the similar stuff. I would recommend
him getting out of Canada though is kind of a problem, ain't it? It's kind of tricky still.
I mean, Devon, here's the thing. I want to ask you guys all this. How come when you have so much money, you feel like you have to spend more money on making the stage look glitzy? Like, can't we budget 10 amazing shows on a lower budget for longevity purposes?
Did you ever see the bottom 8, the original bottom 8? Did you go back and watch that?
Yeah, that's my point. It was done respectfully budgeted wise, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I'm talking about, like, I don't know.
Like, Devon will have no problem putting these things together. Like, he could just stick with Canadians. And because he's so powerful within the community, he can just make the names, right? He can invite Americans over, whatever. The key is you can't do any group event right now legally in anywhere in Canada, really.
I mean, it's just temporary. The world's going to come back, right?
3 months, we might be in a very, very different position in Canada.
Yeah, we're talking about the future. And I'm excited. Devon could do anything, man. He could do anything he wants right now. Yep. You only can get one match of a lifetime with the best in the world, once a year, twice a year, who knows? But every month you could do something cool, not just go arm wrestle, but you could host events. You could do some cool shit out there. I can't wait to say it, but
do some cool shit, Gary.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
If you need any assistance, give us a holler. Call Uncle John or myself. We're for you, buddy.
We'll send our contract over.
Yep. Easy day.
Just thinking about visually, like,
tell me what you want. I'll help you produce your show.
All that money.
I've produced a few shows.
No, I know. And you made it look like $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much is all those backdrops?
I did it on a very small budget. That's just, when you know people, you have contacts and you reciprocate, you take care of things, especially in show business. Gary, you should know that. You worked for corporate long enough. That was show business.
Yeah. I can't believe you Canadians are still locked up, bro. The world is the worst. The world is, dude, we've moved on, bro.
I know. We're in the Stone Age still.
You guys are weird. Weird up there.
Gary calling somebody weird.
That's called socialism.
Oh, bollocks.
Hey, Roger Pedactor, $5 super chat. Super match between Daniel Urich and Gary. Who wins? 1 for Dan and 2 for Gary.
I'm closing the gap every day, Gary. I think
listen, if we grip up right now, I got it. I bust a few. I crack a few wrists back.
I'm catching you fast.
But I saw you on video. You look like you're a pretty tall dude, right?
6'2" and I'm 225 and 6'5" wing.
We'll see. I'm coming out. I'm going to be in Oregon.
You should have took that 2 months ago when someone said that.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Oregon in August. I have a family reunion. Hey, guys, I got to go check on my kiddo. I'll be right back.
You sure it's your kid, Gary?
What?
I
Are you
love
in
you.
like a banquet hall or something? Is this part of the house? You've got a pool? Look at this. Gary Roberts living large and we don't even
Guys,
know.
quit Patreon
Ball,
Gary. He's living better than us.
Ball, that's how I
No.
like it.
Do you want to hear the truth? I'll tell you the truth. So my wife's parents, they bought a house in the 80s that had an indoor pool.
Nice.
And when the kids moved out, they shut the pool down. It's been covered for 20 years.
Wow.
Okay, so
Ooh.
we moved in here last year, COVID. Caroline's father passed away, and so they're talking about selling the house. And so we're talking to a real estate agent, and they're like, well, you know, the pool is the selling thing. And they're like, it hasn't been turned on in 20 years, has a leak in it. And so I said, well, I'll try to get it running. And it leaks about 1.5 inches a day, but it's doable. I mean, that'd cost a lot to fix it, but anyways, now it's beautiful, but it costs a lot to keep it heated, but it is amazing. But
Man.
sadly,
Look at
sadly,
that place.
the house is going to be sold. So we only
Right.
get to enjoy it for the summer.
Why
But
don't
it's
you just
not-
buy it, Gary?
Yeah.
It's for my mother-in-law's retirement. She has to live out her, you know.
So why
Yeah.
don't you buy it? So the mother-in-law can live a nice, lovely life of splendor.
We're gonna probably end up in Oregon, not Chicago.
Oh, you're gonna go grow, huh?
I mean, that's where my daughter's in Oregon. My extended family's in Oregon.
Okay.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
Anyways, I'll be back. That's the story.
All right.
Right. Beat it.
We've kind of
Must
ripped.
be nice.
Cobra, you and I ripped and rolled about this event quite a bit yesterday. It was good. Overall, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about King of the Table. I think it was a good step forward for Larry. I think there were little foibles here and there, but nothing that would be like, wow, that was really terrible. I think it was, a really good event to break the fast we've been having of major events in the last year and a half. So more power to Larry. Great job to Devon Larratt. Incredible sportsmanship from Michael Todd.
Yeah. And like I said the other day, Michael's not going anywhere. No,
Of course,
he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the top of the pecking order now, but he's still monster Michael Todd. So he's he'll lose a little bit of sleep, but I mean, we've all been beat. So
Yeah, well, that's it. It's always coming. It's always right around the corner. For anybody who thinks it isn't, then it's happening, right?
Yeah. This is an unforgiving sport. It's
100%.
just, and you're the hardest one on you. No YouTuber or chalk master can make you feel worse than you do after you get it handed to you. But that's why you keep cranking.
Yeah.
If you're made of that, some motherfuckers ain't made like that. They got a million excuses.
Those are the guys we usually see come and go, right?
Yeah.
They're here, then they take that ass whipping, and then they don't want to deal with it, and then they leave, and then 3 years later they might pop their head back up, make sure everybody forgot about their loss.
With 50 pounds on them.
Yeah. How cool is that to see, though? You could see in Michael's eyes when he knew he didn't have it that day, how proud he was. You could see it in his eyes when he's looking at Deb. He's like,
yeah, that was weird.
I don't have it today. He had that smile, and he was staring him right in the eyes when Devin was looking like, I'm gonna break your arm, and he was smiling like, get it, buddy. You're doing fucking awesome. That's great. And then he made a video right after saying, back to the drawing board and starting over. So that's cool. That was really awesome. He didn't get mad.
No, there's nothing. What else is there?
About it.
What else is there? It's not like he got screwed or something, or just that wasn't his day. But I mean, Michael's.
That was really cool to see how happy he was.
Michael's kicked it up asses. He knows.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think that the overall, the aftermath to this, of course, we've got a lot of issues with Igor and Devin and PAL and WAL, but it'll be interesting. Over the next 3 months, I think a lot of this stuff will get hammered out. We're going to find out what's coming for the second half of this year. I think obviously the United States is opening up in a big way. So I think we'll probably see some significant events going on there. My fingers are still crossed for the IFA World Championships in Florida. I've got my hotel reserved for that. So as long as in September the border is open, I will be going to Florida. I don't know if I'll end up pulling Artem when I'm down there as well. That super match is still happening at some point. But Worlds is
I
kind of
heard
next
Artem
week.
doesn't want that match with you, really. I heard from a couple of his guys, and they were saying that he's talking it, but he really doesn't want to lock up with Uncle John.
I wouldn't want to either.
Yeah, well,
Look, there is a difference between a man who spends his whole life as a 185-pound man going against 300-pound guys because he's overweight, and someone who has started out low, 154 pounds, and then has gained weight. There's significant differences, right? I am afraid of no one at 190 pounds or less. Zero fear.
I love it.
I
Is that what you
understand
weigh
that.
right now? You're down to 190?
Yeah, I've been hanging about 190 to 197 for the last month now.
Congratulations, by the way. That's
Thank
so
you.
awesome.
So I feel great. Worlds has a 189 and a 171 class. So
Is it IFA?
yeah, it's IFA.
You're going to Worlds then in Florida?
As long as the border is open, I have my hotel reserved for Florida Worlds.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Content.
It'll be mega content. I think there will be a lot of people there. It may end up being like the North American World Championships, pending travel restrictions, but I don't care. Like everybody in North America.
No one international? Really?
Well, I'm just saying,
Those
based
that
off
live here,
of
maybe if
restrictions,
borders are open.
if the borders open up, great. Happy to see it. But I don't know if international borders across seas will be open by then. We shall see.
Yeah, if
Hey,
the tournament was this week, there's no England.
Right.
Hey, can I ask you a question? If I had $20,000 to just throw away and burn, and I announced after the finals of World Championships come to this bar and all the 1 through 3 all qualify to do a ruler of the nation, king of the table, would that be, would WAF hate or IFA hate that? Would I be?
It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if they hated it or not.
Would
When
I
are you
be?
gonna do it, though? When are you going to do it? Because
No. This is pretend.
Oh.
After the Worlds, I say the Worlds is over. So the Worlds, let's say, ends at 9 o'clock at night. Then I say at 11 o'clock, all top 3 qualify to pull for this 20 grand. Just for fun.
yeah,
Would that be
That ain't
promoted?
fun, bro. That ain't fun for 20 grand. That ain't fun.
No. I'm just saying.
They're going
would
to
that
be destroyed, aren't they?
Would that be? Yeah, that's the point, bitches. That's the
Yeah.
point.
I want to
wanna-
get them when they're weak.
No.
He wants to see that war of attrition.
No. No. That's entirely what I'm about. I like to know who, when it gets beat down, who can still stand up. That's what I like. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying, would the arm wrestling world think that is unacceptable to do something like that, or would that be fun? Like
Fun.
I think it
a
would be
extra-
fun. I would do it
Like
in a
a-
heartbeat.
Yeah. Fun.
It's like I was wondering, like, let's say all my dreams come true and I want to go to the World Championships, but it's like I want to do some. I'm like, well, could I do something after where I like brought in the Worlds? But I didn't know if I'd be executed by like world champ.
What if you took 16 of the bottom guys who lost out and did it instead?
No,
And gave them a chance to win a little bit of money.
No. Because like Travis says, after all the world championships stand on the podium, I want to then see all them arm wrestle.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I think it would be good. The difficulty comes because I think the Worlds runs up until Sunday night.
Yeah, so Sunday night, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't know how many people would show up, but I would be there.
Yeah. I mean, this is not happening. I don't have that kind of money. I'm talking like 5 years from now. I'm wondering if it's something somebody would be for or against. Okay. Hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta put my kid down.
All right. We'll wrap
movie
this
night
up.
with the missus. I love how many people we still have watching?
214.
214. Hey guys, you diehards, thank you very much. subscribe to everyone's channel, and
Good night,
man,
Gary.
let's continue to blow this thing up, man.
We
Ooh,
have
love it.
we have the legitimate encyclopedia of arm wrestling in the chat, Mr. Eric Rusin, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Eric.
Big fan, big fan of Eric. Hey guys, peace out.
Awesome.
All right. See you later, Gary.
Peace, Gary.
All right, Gary.
All right. So Gary Roberts live from his incredible pool room. That's on my list of things to have in my next home.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Myself too.
When I'm not on the boat, I'll be
Wow.
in the pool room for
The
sure.
boat drinks.
So Daniel Urich, for a guy like you who is just kind of new to the sport but really heavily into it now, would you consider going to the IFA World since they're in the United States this year? Oh,
I actually planned on it, so we'll see how
Yeah.
I'm feeling and see where I'm at by the time that comes around. But I had planned on it.
nice.
I had heard though, Easton. Hang on a second, guys. Easton, I'm on the show. You gotta go through this. Anyways, I had heard that you still have to go to Texas for the nationals before you can go to the Worlds. But I also heard because of COVID, you can go straight to Worlds. So I don't know. I got to figure that out for sure.
It's unclear. I would say contact Leonard and Denise. They're the ones that kind of run the show with that. And I don't know what the qualification thing is. In Canada, anybody can go at this point because we haven't had nationals for 2 years now. So we have no way of qualifying. So anyone who wants to go can go.
Yeah, it's like an open world tournament
Yeah. Yeah.
with closed borders.
With closed borders. What do you know? What do you know? So my fingers are
Yeah.
double crossed because I would love to go there and pull at a lighter weight. You know, maybe I don't know if I can do 171, but 189 for sure. I can do that today, tomorrow, the next day, and just see where it's at because I think that's going to be a really fun tournament to be a part of.
When is that show? Is in September, correct?
September 14th to the 21st or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. It'll be big. The who's who of North America, I'm sure, will be there, pending restrictions, but it's certainly everybody in America for sure. Stacy Morgan with a super chat. Thank you so much, Stacy. Says, Gary Roberts, I told you last year arm wrestling was about to blow up. Now do you believe me? Well, I think we're certainly on our way. I think there's been definitely a certain group of us who have really been hoping for this for a long time, but we've also kind of hedged my bets a little bit because being in the game for 10 years, I've seen the ups and downs. This is certainly a huge up. Like this is the biggest up possibly in the history of arm wrestling, other than maybe Over the Top times and, a few other select, maybe the very, early times with ABC Sports, all that. But man, we're definitely on a roll. So hopefully it continues. Hopefully we go into the stratosphere. Hopefully we can all join Cobra and I for boat drinks in the harbor here in the coming months and years. That is the true goal. Maybe that's where the next
Look at the growth on the live chats too.
Yeah.
It's insane.
This is the
An extra 1,000 people a live chat.
Yeah, Uncle John, you remember it? We were talking about in 2023 doing that cruise to nowhere. It's a 3-day cruise.
Oh my God.
With the Arm Wrestling Championship. So like just bring your kids, the whole thing, the whole families. If you're pulling family, boom. Just load up a boat with 500 families. Run the kids tournament down there on the promenade deck. When the big boys show up here, dude, oh man, it'd be so much fun. But that's 2023.
Yeah.
We've got work to do this year. I'm so sore, man. I am so sore, dude. I'm sorry. We're on a chat. I shouldn't be crying. But yeah, oh man, it hurts.
It's been hitting it hard though. Coming back.
It's horrible. Oh my God. Who wants to get involved in arm wrestling?
Only the weirdos. Only the weirdos, man. 100%. Well, I'm ready to go. All they got to do here is turn us loose. I think we'll be having a tournament here in Canada by August. We were supposed to have one in July. I don't think that's going to happen. August, we'll probably have one tournament. So that'll be my tune-up to go into Worlds in September. And that's the best I'm going to be able to do with what we got here. But That's it. So hopefully everyone is doing well. Do you guys have any closing thoughts before we shut the show down?
I will just share a little bit of my life with you after returning from Chicago. I prepared 400 spring rolls.
Oh,
For a
400.
graduation party. 400 of those puppies. Yeah. Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
How long did that take?
3 hours.
I bet. We also been a loco with a $5
Yeah,
super
3
chat.
hours to roll them.
Cruise to nowhere. Take my money. I agree. 100.
All right. Yeah, we'll be on with that with 2023. We'll
Yes.
be doing the Uncle John and Cobra Roads cruise to nowhere.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll have some boat drinks. You know what I'm screaming? Uncle John, Daniel's son.
Oh, gonna be so good.
Tomorrow. Oh man, I'm just doing that, man. I feel it up in my little. It's horrible. This training shit is for the birds, dude. But I'm stuck now. I'm hit. I told my kid I was gonna do it, so now
You're locked.
You shaved. It's too late. You can't go back on your word on us. You
my
said once I
11-year-old
shaved.
never seen me stomp on people, you know. So I mean, I'll pin them kindly. Now I'm a little older, but yeah, I'm gonna close my hand on him, Uncle John.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Here come Daniel's son. We'll talk tomorrow morning. Uncle John, love you.
Yeah, call me tomorrow.
Take it easy,
Mhm.
Cobra. All right, for everybody in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're gonna head on out. Daniel, thanks for being here as always, buddy. We will.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all your support, all your super chats. We'll see you in 2023.